Welcome to just do the water temple. Today we're just doing the water temple.
Wow. We look fancy in a red outfit, too.
Yeah.
I'm back high.
Travis is back.
Hey!
Just him and me for this part. So previously, we went ahead and did the ice cavern. So I've already got the Zora tunic, I've already got the iron boots. Let's get right down to it.
Literally. Your timing's a big one.
If you do it quickly, you don't even need the Zora tunic.
I like how they kind of just explain the Zora tunic helps him breathe.
Gives you chest gills.
That's hard.
Or hair gills, I guess. You got the hat.
The hat has a fish in it that breathes for you. Just chest bump the spider, yep.
So there are a couple of changes made to the 3DS version of this, because the original N64 version is one of the most hated temples in the Zelda franchise. The first one you will notice right there, Navi was putting out that little thing on the wall. The main gimmick of the water temple is raising and lowering water, and in this version, they added some symbols next to the places where you would do that to actually let you know if the water level would rise all the way up, or would sink all the way down, or what have you. So, a little easier to figure out what you need to do and where to go.
We're in for a fun time. You already described it, just like, what we need to do is raise and lower the water levels. Yep, that sounds like a blast in a video game.
Now you know why everyone hates this temple.
Ah! Is this where it became with the, started with the infamous threat with water temples, or was it even before this?
I feel like it started with here. I can't think of a previous water temple that anyone really hated. I know there was one in A Link to the Past, but that one seems pretty okay. Also, one nice thing is they changed the boot mechanic. You don't need to go to your equip screen constantly. You can use it as an item.
Whoa, hey. Carry me on your head again? My leg hurts for some reason. Oh god. Oh god. That's what that face was just saying.
If I didn't have the Zora tunic on, I would have just immediately choked and died.
It'd be funny as soon as you set up, you just see a bunch of bubbles.
Link is completely stuffed right now.
Like that's any different than any other time.
Well, sometimes he breathes. Here, he's completely flat.
I like my men immobile.
See, look, not moving.
Oh, wow, yeah, he is. Maybe he just starts sliding back without moving at all.
So Ruto mentioned Sheik and as a male, like addressed Sheik as a male, and thus all the constant bullshit about people debating what gender Sheik is, when it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I feel like that's just a translation error. I think with a character like that, it really just comes down to what people see him or her as.
Yeah, I don't think it was translation so much as probably Sheik is, like, that's just what Ruto saw Sheik as.
Yeah. And I also, it's probably a big part of also keeping the audience away from thinking it's Zelda.
Mm-hmm. We're not gonna bother hiding that anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty plain knowledge.
The blind thread is finished. We know Sheik is Zelda now.
You're allowed to add bleeps if you want to. Or just add do-its instead. I'll never get old. Or it will, eventually.
Eventually. Oh, yeah, that never will.
That never will. God, I wish you could go the whole game with that ginormous sword. Screw the Master Sword.
For the most part, you can.
It looked less like a sword and more like a giant slab of iron.
Still need to read Berserk.
I know, it's so good. It's so good.
I tried to angle that. Couldn't do that.
Like, so yeah, the fine.
There's a ledge there that is kind of a bastard to deal with, because you get a key from there. But we gotta fiddle with the water to get through it again. I'm trying to remember if I have the fire arrows right now. Because I don't think I do, but either way, it's just easier to do that.
The moonwalking clam, sure. At least they're not as hard as the clam in Dark Souls.
Yeah. Those guys wreck your shit.
I don't know why they made this thing. Probably because they don't look. Why is the chest so tiny?
Because there's just a key in there. It just now occurs to me how stupid that really is. We got a tiny unlocked chest in which we keep a key.
A tiny key. That's a okay. Come on, that's a rather lazy enemy. That's just something like they designed in 2 seconds. What if these spike balls would chase you? Like no game's ever done that. How would you figure out how to do this as a kid? Like, how would you know that's a block you can move? Other than the fact that it has a symbol of every like other moving block. But logistically, as a kid.
Well, now you know why everyone hates this, among other things. Someone did make a good point in one of the other threads. There's like 5 or 6 Ocarina of Time threads going on right now. Ours is the only 3DS one, though.
Aha.
But Water Temple is one of the few temples that also utilizes vertical puzzle solving. Usually everything just moves horizontally. So it can get a little easy to lose track of where you are or what you're trying to do. Because the game has you always moving up and down, along with left, right, forward, and what have you.
See, I wish kind of what they did with Skies of Arcadia is when you did go to a place that had vertical mapping, they would actually make a vertical map.
That map was just kind of awkward.
What floor am I on? Fuck, I don't know. I do like some of the 3D effects they added into it. They definitely gave this temple a lot more character.
Pretty much everything looks better.
Except for, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a current in this room.
Okay, I was just like, glitch.
It's a little bit tricky. What I need to do is, in that dragon's head is a switch, which will open up the gate. But I need to be able to hit that and to sort of angle myself so that once I've taken off the iron boots, or wherever I happen to be, once I've hit the switch, I can guide myself over to the gate and get through it before the switch deactivates.
You know, Yoshi here is not here to defend himself. He didn't figure this out as a kid. He's lying.
I figured this out as a kid.
Oh, now you're lying too. This is a big lie puddle here going on.
This isn't the hard puzzle of the Water Temple.
Stop trying to make me feel like a dumb 8-year-old. Oh, fuck, I don't know how old you guys were when you played this game. That's just a guess.
I think at age 8 I hadn't even gotten to the Water Temple yet. Once I figured out the real big bullshit part of this temple, then I was really happy, and I'm pretty sure I was a teenager by that point.
I think with the, well, yeah, and I think when I was 8, they didn't have 3D games, so the concept of how 3D games worked was still pretty new to my generation.
No, don't do this to me.
Most 3D thing we ever had was Donkey Kong Country. That shit looked great. That's probably the nicest I've ever seen him open a door.
So gently.
Yeah, oh, pardon me, yeah.
I realized, why am I doing this?
I kind of like the idea that, because you say all these temples were built by goddesses, but like all of the temples in every Legend of Zelda that I've noticed have kind of a mythological theme to them. Like this one kind of has a ancient Chinese kind of thing. How all the architecture looks, and the dragons are kind of that Chinese dragon. And
I hadn't really noticed.
maybe this is post-apocalyptic.
Important thing to remember is when you're underwater, you can only really use the hook shot.
That'd be funny if you heard a fairy actually when it said things like watch out, I was like, watch out!
And then she drowns.
No! I still don't get why people don't like her. I like her. And she hasn't said really shit yet, so...
That switch was behind the gate in the original version. Apparently people couldn't figure out hitting the switch through the gate.
I was gonna say, that was looking confusing as shit, just like zooming on his butt as you were doing backflip. Surprised the game didn't just crash then.
Here's the room that fucked everyone up.
I like how he looked around like, take a good look at this shit.
I'm standing right now on a movable platform. We need to raise the water level in here, and then the platform will raise. You'll see why it's kind of BS once I do that.
It feels like in this game, this part of the game, it's almost like thinking with portals and Portal. You just kind of have to look around and be like, oh, I can move my claw shot there. Oh, and music.
And you can tell by the little symbol to the side. This raises the water level to the medium point. Those symbols weren't there in the original. And also in the original, there wasn't this cutscene to show you that hole. The cutscene didn't even show. Like, you couldn't even see the hole down there. And that tripped up so many people, including myself. Once I actually found that hole, I was so happy. Because there's a key down there. And if you don't get that key, you ain't going anywhere.
I imagine, like, after Miyamoto kind of had this game released, and it's like, sir, we didn't tell him that this hole's down here. Oh, we sort of fucked up, didn't we? We'll send DLC that's not invented yet, sir. Damn it.
We're a good game developer, sir.
Then why did we make this water temple? Answer me that.
Yay.
Look at these enemies. They're pieces of shit.
I think those things are just called spikes.
Okay, the one enemy that has a name that of what it is, really? I feel like those like clams would be called something like crunk chickens, like just whatever the fuck.
Getting crunk chicken up in...
Up in this chicken.
And by doing that, we can float up gingerly to another chest. What the hell?
So these chests were pretty much normal sized for basically Baby Link. So Baby Link must have been about the size of a baby.
If you want to get back in there from the outside, you need to light the torch by using an arrow from the other side of the other torch.
I don't know, this temple does not look like fun even after the update.
It's less bullshit, but yeah, it's still a little confusing, and you're going all the way around the entire thing to figure things out. God damn it. One of the easier but stupider puzzles.
We basically have to force it to do things the cameras don't want to do.
Oh no. God damn it.
Oh, oh no. I feel like it's weird when a game does that where it's like, this is the way to do it, but it's not the way we design the camera to work with what you're doing.
It was one of the first of its kind. It had plenty of kinks to iron out. Good thing I don't need to hold my breath for 5 seconds.
Zora powers, I guess. I wish when you did put on, like, especially with this update, when you did put on, like, the blue outfit and things like that, you get kind of Zora qualities, like your skin becomes kind of grayish.
But then Majora's Mask wouldn't be special.
That's true. Party time! Fall down the hole!
I was waiting for the timer to go out, but I was like, it would be easier to kill it.
So we're pretty much on the thought process that Majora's Mask has pretty much every character that's in Ocarina of Time. Does that mean that girl that loses her voice is this princess?
She's her counterpart, at least.
Okay.
Not the same characters, necessarily, just... they're alternate world versions.
Good, because she talked too much in this game. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was pretty slick.
Slide in the corner for
Let me shove in the sheath that it doesn't fit in. I do like when he's not like using his actual sword. He kind of does that like fighter pose thing where he has to move around while flexing. It's like round one.
Juking and jiving, yeah.
Yep.
Can't get that from here. And I need another key, goddammit. So what I need to do is go back to that middle section, raise the water to the medium, and then come back to this room where we met Rudo and get through here.
What was that?
That was it not quite going how I had hoped.
I wish when he kicked it with that chest with the iron boot, it just exploded. The key just went flying. Oh, shit.
And then I need to raise the water all the way up again. If you didn't know what you were doing, and for a good extent I didn't, this temple would be so frustrating. There's too many keys, there's too much raising and lowering of the water.
None of it sounds like it's that much fun either. Like, that thought process doesn't sound like, yeah, this will be fun for people to do. Shut up.
It's really not. Still funny.
See, this seems relatively interesting. Relatively. I guess comparably to everything else.
It's simple.
And that's fine. I think in games like this, it's okay to have puzzles that are simple.
I'm not sure why I did that still, but...
Are those Doberman pinchers?
They're dragon heads. With hook shots on them. So in this room, we actually need to hit that switch multiple times to raise and lower it just the one time, though. Because some of these heads are actually obstacles.
And they have good posture, too.
Like this one, I actually want to hit this hookshot target and then climb over that statue. Don't fall in the water. And then we shoot over here, use that hookshot, and then we lower the water again to get onto the statue, and then we use that as a platform.
Luckily, it didn't get trapped under its mouth and get crushed. I wonder if that's possible.
I doubt it.
Oh no, an obstacle.
There's another like. Oh, for a second there I thought, oh shit, is he invincible to arrows? Nothing's invincible to arrows.
Maybe the Master Sword, but no, not arrows.
I want that money that I can't fit in my wallet.
I'll fit it in my mouth.
It's mini-boss time. A very iconic mini-boss. Keep an eye on the ground. As I walk past this little island, you actually see it disappear. And when you walk back, your own shadow attacks you. This fight is incredibly easy when you have the Big Goron sword or the Megaton hammer, because Shadow Link here is only calibrated to fight you with the Master Sword. Those other two weapons, he can't do shit.
Wow. This hype character just beating the shit out of by a big sword.
If you do fight him with the Master Sword, he's quite difficult, because most of the attacks he will do exactly the same way, and they'll deflect. You won't do any damage to him. And also, if you stab at him, he'll actually jump onto your sword and dance on it.
That's cool. I wish we could have seen that.
I thought, fuck it.
This temple's too fun anyway. We wanted to cut it back, right?
But we got the long shot. It's basically a super long version of the hook shot. And it's pretty cool.
So I think there's some kind of mythology behind those Shadow characters. It's interesting the Shadow Link became almost its own lore in this game, despite it being like just a mini boss you randomly fought.
Yeah. Well, it's because you don't know why he's there.
I think it's a cultural, it has to do with some kind of mythology in like China or Japan or something like that. I guess like in certain training, you'd fight like a darker version of yourself. And a lot of shows kind of have it. Like if you watch a lot of that kind of TV shows they have around there, they do put that kind of shadow
Oh,
self
goddamn.
and things. Oh, just get up the hill. Forget my point. Just fix that.
No, I see what you're getting at. I might be kind of doing this room wrong.
But if it feels right.
I don't think that was supposed to work.
I'm fine.
You're actually supposed to swim to an extent. Like, you don't want to get too close to the cyclones, obviously. But as long as you're a good distance away, you can swim around them. I take the hard way for this one.
Would have taken like 30 seconds, but you just had to go, no, I've found a way.
I can almost do it. And I just said, fuck it. There. Don't trust the boots too much.
Stomp, stomp, hi there, fairy.
He just looks so crabby when he stomps around in them.
Boy, what a rough day.
Oh, hello.
But see, I feel like when you're soaking wet like that, you would probably walk around like, boy, what a day. Whoa. I wish when you shot those eye things, they'd go, ow. God, I still think her voice, she's actually rather cute, but that's just me. Hey! Hi!
Ah!
I'm Jiggle Billy.
Looks like I hit my head on the roof there. Or ceiling.
At least you don't have tall people problems, Link. Like smacking your head into the side of your car like I do. I'm like, I'm gonna go and climb into my vehicle, smack.
I'm enjoying occasionally seeing outside the geometry for this level.
I'm not falling into your rhythm bullshit here, game.
I'm quite proud of my archery.
Your 3DS archery at that.
Yeah. Gyroscope in. 360 gyroscope.
Final destination.
I don't know why I waited for that rock. It wasn't going to hit me.
What does this factory possibly serve?
It's a... I don't know.
First we must wash the rock, and then we shove it down this stream.
The temples are supposedly places of worship. How could anyone do anything in this place?
Rocks. Please make it into the meeting room. You just might have to raise and lower the liquid over a period of days to get there. Meeting's at 12 o'clock. Hope to see you there.
I just killed them all, but those were the little manta rays that we saw in Jabu Jabu. I haven't seen them since. I'm never going to see them again.
So this is where they're coming from. Ah.
Possibly.
The biggest, most obvious crack of them all.
I don't know why they bothered.
Really, it just feels like a waste of a bomb.
Yeah. I'm actually pushing it the right way, I think.
We won't know until we get there, I guess.
Nope, I'm not.
We're kind of saying that like you're currently playing it. I think I'm doing this right.
No, what happened is I think I'm pushing it the right way.
Ah, perfect.
Then it...
No.
My theory is, okay, I clearly need to use this as a platform, because there's a little alcove up to the top right here. But it doesn't give him the option to climb it, even though that would be the easy one. No, there's actually a switch on the other side. So I had to go all the way around.
I think there's a switch that would let me climb this block.
And then that raises the water level, and then we get to the alcove from there.
Is this almost over? Like, how many times you have to raise and lower this shit? And again, I didn't even play the original, and that apparently was bullshit.
Yeah, it kind of was.
And I forget, you haven't picked up the boss key yet.
We're on our way.
Are there any other dungeons that are this puzzle-oriented?
But, god damn it.
Like, to me, I almost feel like a level like this, if they're just gonna focus on puzzles, just have, like, no enemies in it and just have it purely puzzle.
Fuck.
Aw, shit. Timing shit? Aw, man.
Yeah. I don't know if any other dungeons are this focused on puzzles. Ocarina of Time has a good balance of a lot of puzzles for the dungeon and a little bit of fighting. Son of a bitch.
I just imagine smacking his face sideways. So, I mean, there's always that debate that Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask. Now, you like Majora's Mask story better. You said you don't like the temples. Would you comparably say that you like Ocarina of Time's temples better, just not the story as much?
For the most part, yeah. They're less bullshit. And Majora's Mask had a lot of bullshit. So I'm missing a key.
A boss key at that.
Along with that, there's also a gold skull in here now that I have the long shot.
The long shot, which basically breaks the game now.
I don't know if it does or not. Because, like, the game is built, for the most part, around the long shot. It's just we have the hook shot for the first half of Adult Link's side.
I feel like when he picked up the long shot, he looked over his hook shot and just threw it into the ocean. Nope, no one to use that.
The key I'm looking for is actually going all the way back to the start of the temple with that little block that I moved earlier that I pulled into this recess in the ground. What you need to do is, once you've gotten the long shot, shoot that eye switch, and then shoot over with the long shot into this area. Since I've already pulled the block off this way, I can now push it out of the way and get to the other key.
So you would have had to done that way in advance, and if you didn't, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's another problem with the water temple. You have to do a little too much in advance.
I imagine kids playing this for hours and hours.
I want to say I played it for about an hour. There's a lot of backtracking. But we got the boss key.
Do you think, like, different designers design different dungeons because they feel so different that maybe, like, they went to this guy's office and they're just like, why are you taking so long on this map? Don't come in here.
Now I've got the boss key. Can long shot all the way over here. And head off to the boss.
Please tell me the boss is at least a dragon.
It might be... Like, depending on your reaction to it, it might be so lame you can't believe it. Speaking of so lame, look at this.
Whoa! This is dumb.
I can't think of any real trick to this. If there is, feel free to mention it in the thread. But you just need to run all the way up this really slippery slope. There's no way to hookshot over there. And you need to avoid the traps.
That's just a fuck you at the end of it. It's like spitting on you.
And you don't even get a fairy at the end.
You basically go there with like half a heart left. What does that mean?
It means our boss isn't a dragon.
It's the water?
But it's not normal water.
I wish that the water was actually the enemy and just had the title pop up, just say water. Ba-da-da-da-dum.
It's unique, I'll give it that.
It's a zebra. Woo. Hey, we've seen this enemy before. Or sort of like it.
It's a giant germ. Whoop, and it just jumped right past me.
It'd be funny, like, in the cinematic, you stabbed it. Why does this make any sense?
Well, that's assuming it does. So Morpha, her main attack, assuming it's a her, is she'll grow water tentacles. They'll grab you and fling you around and just wring the life out of you. And then fling you into the wall.
Into the spikes, damn.
Takes out a lot of health. That's because that's its only real form of attack. What you need to do is use the long shot and pull the amoeba itself out of the water. Best way to do that is wait for it to climb up into one of its tentacles, and then shoot it from there.
See, I feel like this would make a little bit more sense if maybe the germ could form the water into the shape of a dragon's head. Like, maybe this is something that people worship without knowing it's a horrible monster. Like,
that would be cooler.
I feel like maybe it's just, like, I'm going to get forgiven because it's an earlier game, but I always feel like when you have things like bosses and enemies that it should make sense in the context of where you are. God damn it.
Yeah. If you're not actually facing the tentacle head on, it's a little difficult to shoot Morpha. Sometimes you can get lucky and actually pull it right out of the water before it ever forms a tentacle, but usually it's a bit tricky.
We worship the dragon by going into the room with the germ? Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah. There's not much to say about this boss. This is all there is to it.
It does look more like just like a magic carp combined with a brain. That time, how could it grab you? You're punching it. I only have so many pain sound effects.
The Goron sword makes it pretty quick, though. Relatively. If you do it with the Master Sword, it takes forever.
So the entirety of the water was him?
Pretty much.
Ew, you're swimming in a germ. Nasty.
So that's probably the lamest boss fight in the game.
With the lamest dungeon in the game, it just fits. I saw this thing online where it said, you want to play Legend of Zelda on hard mode? Don't pick up any of the heart pieces.
Well, yeah, I would have died instantly.
Like, I'd like to see someone do a no heart piece run.
It's been done. It's a pretty common run, as far as challenge runs go.
Yeah.
Not one I would be good enough at doing myself, but...
So she's also the priestess too? I guess so.
Yep, Ruto is a sage, which means we don't have to marry her, yay!
Well, she keeps on mentioning, like, I wouldn't choose anyone else but you. Yep.
Again, it is kind of strongly hinted that people become sages by dying.
In this game?
Yeah.
Like, what's the evidence for that?
Well, Darunia clearly dies. Ruto says, I want to pledge my eternal love to you, but that's kind of not possible anymore.
So you're saying these characters die and become sages?
That seems to be the evidence, at least.
I always had the impression that sages were like something that got passed down by generations, kind of like like Zelda and Link themselves. That it's like the spirit of them passes through like generations of the same kind of people.
That doesn't seem to be the case. Like, the sages, as far as every game where they appear, seems to be different. That's kind of the case for A Link to the Past with the wise men and the maidens. But not for, like, Ocarina of Time and then Twilight Princess. They don't seem to have any real connection.
I like to point out that this Hero Time has like no characters ever that feel any kind of form of affection towards them. And the ones that do are now dead.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I will forever assert the Hero of Time's life sucks.
I do appreciate that he's left-handed, though. Lefties unite! Ow. You know what I do like about the adult Link? No owl.
What?
I haven't seen that stupid owl in a while.
Oh, yeah. You never talked to him as an adult.
He's dead now. He twisted his head too many times and broke it.
Look at that well-defined ass.
Yeah, Lynx. I like that whole idea. Let's look at the water together. K, works like a charm. Only gets 3 feet away. I can see you. Wow. Shitty gravity no jutsu.
I mean, I could have teleported, but fuck it. Now remember, this is how you get the fire arrows. When water fills the lake, shoot for the morning light, meaning literally shoot the sun.
Now that, wow.
I don't know how that works, but I don't care. The fire arrows are cool.
I like how back then they really couldn't do flames, so they just had like a orange crystal shit.
I'm making it nighttime because I want to make sure that I get the Skulltulas, and there's one up in this tree.
But the day's moving so fast, our seasons here are terrible. Wow, you completely missed. It still worked. Look at her dancing around. She's so happy.
We could summon a big fairy there if we wanted.
Go Goose, it's your birthday.
If you saw from the distance, there's the gossip stone just hanging out on the far side of the lake. Why is it there?
You just talk to it, I'm lonely.
There's also a Skulltula way down here at the bottom of the lake laboratory.
Can we talk to the lab guy again? He's hilarious.
No, but we can hang out with Bruce.
Holy. I love you, Bruce.
He was just a flat texture in the original.
Now he's just a happy flat texture in this one.
I'm pretty sure he's dead. He doesn't move.
I'd like to petition the release of Bruce from his imprisonment. He doesn't deserve it.
Into the lake.
He just comes out completely still because he's like this.
Just sinks to the bottom.
Oh, hi, Sheik. Shh. Okay. Well, Bruce is on his way. Swims off with a rainbow.
Fan artist, can we see that, please? Rahanovis, I'm sure you would do a great version of that, however your name is pronounced.
Wonder who Bruce would be friends with.
Well, not with the Zoras, I'm sure he would eat them.
You are what you eat. I'm a Zora.
I'm innocent people.
Look at this lake. I'm crying and it's mixing with my tears. Oh, well.
I shit where you swim.
Everything's browner. I just shit. I'm sorry. I tried to say it in the nicest way possible.
Everything's browner. I know that's a downer under the sea.
Everything's downer. Where I am browner. I'm going to eat you. Very, very nice to meet you. Just a conversation with Bruce and Shia LaBeouf. Well, I can't get out of this cage, Shia. Just do it! Well, gee, if you put it that way.
So for this part and the next temple is actually going to be 2-part updates. Going up with this one is going to be the fishing minigames. Those are going to be relatively quick, even though it took me fucking hours to do it correctly. And then next time, the first part, we're going to be going to the bottom of the well. And after that, we'll be heading off to the Shadow Temple. And we're not too far off from the end of the game.
It's moving a little quick. I mean, I always felt like the adult part was like the last chunk of it, really.
It depends on what you do. But like the adult is the majority of the game.
See, we're almost done with both of our Legend of Zelda things. What now? Literally, I don't know what we're going to do.
More Zelda.
More Zelda.
Really, we can't get away from Zelda.
Or Bomberman.
Well, the people paid for more Bomberman. I think that's okay.
That's true. I don't know why. Maybe because they just love watching my reactions to stupid shit.
It's what you're good at. And nothing else.
Yeah, well, thank you. Especially editing, it's bullshit. Anyway.
Nice cut, asshole.
Don't put cut and asshole in the same... That made me flinch. That made me think of the pig.
We recorded that the same day we recorded this.
Yeah.
I don't think you're an asshole, and I think your editing is okay.
Hooray!
I would feel really bad if we ended the recording there.
You stupid motherfucker in the dance. You human garbage. End of video.